one was for you today, right? That's great. Okay, I need everybody to listen very carefully because I'm going to read to you from God's holy book, and then we're going to ask you what you heard. So listen very carefully. My friends, the Lord be with you. This is a reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Some Jewish leaders called Pharisees wanted to trick Jesus into saying something wrong. So they went to him and said, "Teacher, we know that you are honest and that you always teach the truth about God. We know that you are not afraid of what other people will say about you. You treat everyone the same. Tell us what you think about this. Should we pay taxes to Caesar or not?" That's what some would say. Jesus knew they were trying to trick him. So he said, "You phonies, why are you trying to trick me? Show me the money that you use to pay the taxes." Jesus looked at it and said, "Whose picture is on this money and whose name?" They answered, "Caesar's." So Jesus said, "Well, then give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay, now tell me, what did you hear in the Gospel? Tell me anything that you heard. Yes. You got to talk real loud. They tried to trick Jesus, that's right. Anything else that you heard? Yes.
That they wanted to trick him and ask him to do something wrong.
Okay, all right, very good. Yes.
I heard that he said phonies.
He said what?
He said phonies.
He called them phonies because Jesus knew that they weren't being honest, that they were just trying to trick him. What were they trying to trick him about? About the taxes. Does anybody know what are taxes? You have to pay taxes on your house, okay. Hello there. You sit down, okay? There, so you can have a donut after. Okay. What now? Who else can tell me what taxes are?
Money that I have to pay for the things that he did for.
That's right, money that you have to pay for the things that you have. Like, you know, like we have policemen and we have firemen. You know how they get paid? Through taxes. Through the taxes that your mom and dad pay. Did you ever, you know, during the summertime, you're riding in the car, and you see all this construction going on, the big trucks and people standing there with flags. Sometimes you even see a sign that says, "Your tax dollars at work." And it's telling you the taxes that we're paying are to make the roads better. The bridges that are built, those are all built with tax money. So where do they get the tax money from? Who has to give them the tax money? Mom and Dad. That's right. And you know, guess what? Someday you guys are going to pay taxes too. All you have to do. If you don't, you get thrown into jail. You got to pay taxes. Nobody likes it, but that's what you have to do. Okay. All right, so you got the idea. They wanted to trick Jesus, and so they asked him this question. Well, should we do it or shouldn't we do it? chance. Look, I'm going to ask you some questions now. Listen carefully. If it takes 10 minutes to boil, hard boil an egg, 10 minutes, I think that's right. No? How long? Okay, let's say 5 minutes. I haven't boiled eggs in a long time. Okay. If it takes 5 minutes to boil one egg, how long does it take to boil 2 eggs? Yes. Anybody else got an answer besides 10? 5. Why? That's right, you put them both in the same pan. It doesn't take any longer to boil 1 or 2 or 10 or 12. Very good. Here's another one. A farmer has 15 cows. All but 9 of them run away. How many cows does he have left?
6.
No. Another answer.
5.
No. All but 9 ran away. How many does he have left? No. All but 9. No. Oh my heavens. Parents, tell us. See how smart they are. All but, I said he had 15 and all but 9 ran away, so he's got 9 left. See? Tricky questions. That's what they were trying to do to Jesus. Ask him a tricky question and see what he would say. Now, I don't know. Maybe sometimes you try to trick people. Maybe sometimes people have tried to trick you. Now, you know, sometimes when people try to trick people, they try to get them into trouble. And that's what they were doing to Jesus. They said, you know what? If he says to us, pay the taxes, the people are going to be mad because they don't want to pay the taxes. Just like you don't want to pay. If he says, don't pay them, they're going to report him and say, hey, guess what? This Jesus guy is telling all the people not to pay taxes. So Jesus was very clever. And what did Jesus say? So, yes. And keep the rest. But okay, give to Caesar what he wants, keep the rest. But then there's even something more important. Okay, give Jesus what he needs. Okay. Yes. And give to God what belongs to God. Very good. So isn't that clever? Jesus didn't say yes or no. He said do both. Give Caesar what belongs to him. Give God what belongs to God. Now, tell me, we use money to pay taxes, right? And Jesus said to them in the gospel, show me the money. Whose picture's on here? Whose picture's on this money? This is some money that's been used to pay the taxes. Not a whole lot, but some. Can you tell me who that is? It's on a quarter, yes. No, not Thomas Jefferson. The first president of the United States, George Washington. That's right. So George Washington's picture is on the coin. When Jesus asked them whose picture is on the coin, it was Caesar, because he was the guy in charge back then. Now on this coin, it says above Washington's head, it says United States of America. So that means that we have to use, I guess we would say, this money belongs to George Washington, to the government. We have to use some of our money to pay these taxes. Now, Jesus said, give to God what belongs to God. That's the most important part. What did God do for us? What do we owe God? What has God done for us? Who can tell me? Yes. God has done it. Okay, can you be a little bit more specific? Okay, Jesus died on the cross. He did that for us. He sent his son.
God gave us life so we should God, we should do good.
Very good. God has given us life and we should do good things to others. Anything else that God has done for us? Yes. Okay, that's right. He created the world. Where would we be if it wasn't if God didn't create the world? We can't be living in outer space. Yes. We wouldn't even exist. That's right. Yes. He made our brothers and sisters. Yes. Oh, very good. He made the food that we eat. That's my niece, by the way. Yes. What? Oh, he made our grandparents. Well, isn't that nice? That's right. He made everybody in the whole world. So everything that we have belongs to God. And so what God wants from us is something very important. Caesar wants our money. The government wants our money. But that's not what God wants. What does God want from us? It's something very important. It's inside of us. Love. And where does love come from? From us, but from our hearts. Very good. So, the important lesson is, whether we like it or not, Jesus told us we gotta pay what? We gotta pay taxes. But don't forget, we also owe something to God. And what is that again? Love. And our hearts. Very good. Excellent. Now, you know what? Since you had the right answer about George, you can keep this to pay the taxes. Okay? Very good. Well, thank you very much for coming up this morning. And we're going to do this again next month. So I want to see you before then, too. But don't forget, we'll do it again next month. Okay. Thank you very much.